Hello and welcome into the Birds of the Round Table. Guys, we made it. Football is back, and we are kicking off the season with Cowboy Week. Hanging the banner in front of the Cowgirls fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Shane Haff. Give me a follow on Twitter at Shane Haff NFL, joined by the Birds of the Round Table crew. First up, we've got David. Give him a follow at PHL Eagle News. David, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. I'd like to shout out Dude Wipes for sponsoring the Tush Push. That was absolutely amazing endorsement. I can't believe that's reality. I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. So
I have no idea what you're talking about. What happened?
Company named Dude Wipes, which apparently is like some sort of, I don't know, like a towelette or something. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I guess you wipe, I think you wipe your tush with it. And they sponsored the play, the Tush Push. So I guess every time they run the Tush Push, we're going to see sponsored by Dude Wipes.
Nice.
I'm not sure how you can sponsor a specific play, but good on them. And yeah, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
An official presenting partner is how they worded it. So
that's going to go over really well in Green Bay. So, all right. Awesome. Well, also joined by Ryan. Give him a follow on Twitter at Philly Sports PSA. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing so much better now about this amazing Dude Wipe news. I'm doing great. I've been pumping myself up, well, for the longest time. Only a couple more days to wait before I get my chance to get in that stadium.
And you are going to the game, correct, Ryan?
I sure am.
All right. Awesome.
Wouldn't miss it.
Yeah. I unfortunately am not going to the game because it would require a cross-country flight and dropping, last I checked, like $600 on the cheapest ticket available. So I will be watching from my couch, but that's great news for you listeners because that means I'll be on halftime and post-game after the game. As always, I do want to shout that out. So if you guys are new to the network, Dibes and I will be going live at halftime of almost every game. There's a couple games we won't be able to, but then we will have a live post-game show immediately after the clocks hit zero. This week, I think it's David, Eric, and I are going to be your trio on the post-game show. So come hang out with us after the game. But now let's talk about the game. And so a little different format this time around because we don't have a game to recap. Typically, we're going to recap and preview a game. This week, we're just previewing, but we're also going to do some season-long over-under predictions that we can revisit later this season. So, guys, let's jump right into it. Let's talk first Eagles offense versus the Cowboys defense. David, what is your top matchup to watch there?
It would be Jalen Hurts. He has to be decisive. The version of Jalen Hurts that gives the Eagles the best chance isn't the one who's hesitant or second-guessing throws or not trusting his offensive line. It's the one who trusts his reads, uses his legs when the lanes are open, and distributes the ball without overthinking. It's the guy we saw at the end of the year, the guy who decimated the Kansas City Chiefs. So we need that version of Jalen because I think a lot of teams are going to try to copycat what the Chiefs did by slowing down Saquon Barkley. So to start the year, you might see a lot of people testing Hurts and see if that was something that he can sustain long term. So I'm interested in that. And Dallas will struggle to win the game if they don't do that. If he has time, he's going to eat them alive back there because their defense just isn't prepared for that type of offensive onslaught. So he's the key, which you could probably say the quarterback is every week. But I do think early in the season, I think a lot of teams are going to test him in that manner just to see if this Super Bowl game was real.
All right, so we've got Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys passing defense. Ryan, what is your top matchup to watch? Eagles offense versus Cowboys defense.
Yeah, it's going to be Saquon Barkley and the run game versus the very poor Dallas Cowboy run defense, or certainly was last year. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I think leading up to this, we were all wondering about the Micah Parsons situation. Obviously, we know an answer to that. He's not going to be there. He's in Green Bay, and they brought in Kenny Frank or Frank Kenny or whatever his name is.
Kenny Clark,
whatever. I was close.
You got one name right.
I got one name out of it. I was close. There was a guy named Kenny Frank, wasn't there? Or Frank Kenny? I don't know.
There was a Frank
went to
Clark.
high school with him.
Maybe it was Frank Clark. I don't know. Either way, not going to matter. But no, in all seriousness, the Saquon Barkley, that run game, this offensive line, whether we're going to get a full healthy offensive line. We have a new right guard. So all these little things that are kind of going to add up. And was it just the miracle of last season that was Saquon Barkley and his 2,000 yards? Or is he going to pick up right where he left off and just continue to pound the rock and, get themselves a nice lead and continue to rely on it?
Yeah, that's a good call out as well. I'm really interested to see how that's going to play out this season with how teams are going to choose to play the Eagles. I mean, for my money, and again, don't yell at me because I had Jalen Hurts ranked as my number 5 quarterback. But if I'm game planning against the Eagles, I'm stacking the box and I'm going to try to make Hurts beat you through the air. And he's certainly capable of doing that. But it's kind of the whole coaching adage that 3 things can happen when you try to pass the ball and 2 of them are bad. It just is going to inject a little bit more variance, I think, than letting Saquon gash you for 5 yards a carry. And we know certainly that the Cowboys were really bad against the run last year. And honestly, I can't think of a more fitting thing for opening night than dropping the banner in front of Jerry and then running for 175 yards after he said they traded Micah Parsons so they could be better against the run. So I'm certainly pulling for that. But I do think it's going to be something that will be interesting to see how teams play throughout the year. But my matchup, I'm just going to look at the interior offensive line against the Cowboys' interior defensive line. I mean, you get the Kenny Clark signing, which Kenny Clark used to be a really good player. And I think that, he definitely took a step back last year. He's 30 years old now. But I do think that people are a little too far down on him as a player just because of the Cowboys moved Micah Parsons, and this guy was a key part of that package, which was obviously ridiculous. But he's a solid player still, as long as he doesn't fall off that cliff. They have Osa Odigizua, who's a guy that I really like as a penetrating pass rusher. And I think what you are going to see early in this game with Tyler Steen as a new starter, Landon Dickerson, fortunately, was a full participant in practice today, but you always wonder, especially a guy coming into the year banged up like that, what the Cowboys will be able to scheme up against that front, especially if they can get the Eagles into must-pass situations. I think you could see a lot of interior stunts and twists, and it's going to be on Landon Dickerson with a potentially bad back. It's going to be on Tyler Steen playing next to guys he hasn't played to a whole lot to communicate and pass those things off well, because we all know that Hurts can get a little jittery in the pocket at times when he starts getting free runners at him and hit. And so that's the big thing that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, is what that pass pro looks like on the interior, especially when the Cowboys are able to get them into must-pass situations. So that is some quick thoughts on the Eagles' offense against the Cowboys' defense. Let's flip that script now. Let's go Cowboys' offense against the Eagles' defense. And Ryan, I'll throw it to you first this time. What's your top matchup to watch there?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to kind of do the reverse, and that's the Cowboys run game versus the Eagles rush defense. There are kind of a plethora of mid running backs in Dallas. Javonte Williams, who's been nothing but disappointing with his time in Denver and never really lived up to the potential. You have Jaden Blue, who, again, is, a rookie and, may not see all of the action. And then you have, Miles Sanders, who can't stop talking.
Okay, hold on. What did Miles Sanders say? I never keep up with this media stuff, and then you guys mention things. What did Miles Sanders say?
Well, he said a while ago that, something about Eagles fans are going to regret somehow him going to the Cowboys or something like that, basically. And it's like, you're a third stringer at this point in your career. Maybe you probably shouldn't be talking, but either way, it's not a very good run defense. So their offensive line is not the offensive line, of old. You have, your tackles that are a little hit or miss, and you have some new interior guys. So I'm really kind of, excited to see how Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and, this rush defense is going to shut down this, again, not great rush offense from Dallas. It could get pretty ugly pretty quickly. And with the fact that they're most likely going to be down, they're going to abandon it pretty quickly and become a one-dimensional offense. And yeah, it'll be. I'll be interested to see how quickly that happens.
All right, David, what about you? What is your top matchup to watch when the Cowboys have the ball?
Containing CD Lamb. Dallas's passing game, excuse me, Dallas's passing game is funneled through Lamb.
Standing by, but you got to unmute. There you go.
All right. Dallas's passing game is funneled through Lamb. He's not just their number one wide receiver, but he's basically their offensive lifeline. Fangio will need to mix coverages, bracket them when possible, and make another player there beat them. They do have Pickens, but if there's any team in the NFL who's seen Pickens a lot and knows how to defend them, it's definitely the 6 members of the defense that are on the Eagles that won championships with them, years ago. So the containing Lamb, because if he gets loose, they get chunk plays. Then Dallas gets momentum. But if the Eagles keep him in check, Prescott will be forced to hold onto the ball longer, and that's when the pass rush can feast. And they're probably going to need that to come from the interior line, because I do have some question marks from the edge rushers going into the season.
Yeah. It's got to be all about Lamb. I mean, that's the primary guy that I'm looking at. And if I say this, if it was just Lamb, you should be able to pretty much take him away. That has not historically been the case for the Eagles, but they historically haven't had Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. And I've got full confidence in Vic, but adding that second weapon in George Pickens, it makes things a lot more difficult because, do you really trust, do you trust Adoree Jackson one-on-one with George Pickens vertically so you can devote extra help to CeeDee Lamb? And so how much they trust CB2, how much they trust, Quinyon Mitchell on an island with CeeDee Lamb, although he operates out of the slot a ton. And so I guess it'd be a lot of Cooper DeJean too. And, in some ways it's nice when he's in the slot because it does become a little bit easier to get multiple eyes on him. And we saw the Eagles do that in the Super Bowl. Cody Alexander had a great breakdown of how the Eagles took away Travis Kelce. And when you only have one receiving threat, there's a lot of things you can do from split field coverages to just bracket those guys inside out. The Cowboys have more than one, so I'm most interested to see how Fangio approaches this and just, how Jackson's going to look. I thought he looked really poor in the preseason. I'm assuming he's going to be the starter. At least that's what the depth chart says right now. It's not who I would start, but it appears to be who they're going to start. And just how that's going to play out, what the leash is going to look like for Jackson. I mean, if Jackson just gets abused in the first half, do you see Jacorian Bennett out there? Do you see what changes? Because I do think the Cowboys are going to have to put up a lot of points because you look at the defense and the defense just isn't particularly talented. So for the Cowboys to win this game, I think it's going to have to be a shootout. And I just don't think as much as there is up in the air from the Eagles defensively, and as much as Dak has given them issues over the years, I just don't see the Cowboys being able to do that, especially in an environment like the Link on banner night. So that's what I'm watching. I don't know if I made that a clearly defined matchup, but basically just the whole defense is what I'm watching because there's so many pieces up in the air. Not to use the Dibes answer, but it's the whole team. So there you have it. Some of our top offensive and defensive matchups. Let's spin it forward. Well, no, let's actually do our score predictions first. So we will throw it around the horn here. We will each give a score prediction. We will each give a player of the game prediction. And just special rule of the show is we don't allow repeats for player of the game predictions just so we talk about more guys. So David, I'll throw this one to you first. You never pick against the Eagles. So how much are the Eagles winning by? And who's your player of the game prediction?
Well, I'll stick with Jalen Hurts because that's who I talked about on the offensive side. Again, most games often come down to third downs, red zone execution, just winning situational football. And the Eagles have started slow a lot of past seasons, and I don't think this is going to be some 44-6 kind of game like we saw last year when they played them last. But I went 27-17. I do have them winning. I do think that Jalen Hurts will be tested, but I think he answers the bell in this one more often than not.
All right. So is Hurts your player of the game prediction?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got Jalen Hurts off the board. Ryan, give me your score prediction and your player of the game.
I think I'm going to go with a 38 to 13.
All right. I'm
I
assuming
think
Eagles.
yes, of
Okay.
course. Come on. I feel insulted that you had to ask that.
I just want to clarify for the people at home.
Well, I guess for the people.
Yeah.
I just think this is going to be a domination, from start to finish. Saquon Barkley is my MVP of the game. I think they start him off, really well. They build up the lead, and then they just kind of lean on him there to kind of get the game over with towards the fourth quarter. So.
All right. I will go. Saquon would have been my pick, by the way. But I will go Eagles 31, Cowboys 21. And I'll go player of the game is give me Cooper DeJean. I think Cooper DeJean will make a big splash play or two in the run game. Maybe he does a good job on CeeDee Lamb out of the slot, and we're talking about him after the game as having an outstanding week one. So that'll be my pick here. And that is our preview portion of the show. And again, normally we'll be recapping a game, but what we want to do today is we want to get on the record our over-under predictions for this season. And so pardon me looking off to the side at my other monitor while we're doing this, but let's start it off with Jalen Hurts over under total passing yards. Dibes set all of these lines, I believe. Did you help him with these, Ryan?
No, not really. He didn't listen to me.
Oh, okay. Great. All right. So Jalen Hurts over under passing yards, 3,999.5. So basically in the regular season, will Jalen Hurts have 4,000 or more yards, David?
I am going with yes. I think that they are going to have to throw the ball a lot more this season. I think just the evolution of the passing game started to come to fruition towards the end of last season, and that QB1 finally gets over the 4K. So I guess it'd be, what was it last year?
2,903.
2K SA. So this is KJH or whatever the little handle will be, but he's getting 4,000.
All right. Ryan, what do you think?
This is tough because I definitely know that they want to, go through the air a little bit more than they did last year. And I don't doubt that he has that ability to do that. I just don't know if the game will allow it, being that I expect them to be up in some games more so. So I'm going to say just under.
All right. I will also take the under on that one. He's never hit it in his career. I don't think they're going to swing to being that dramatically pass heavy. I think they're still going to run the ball quite a bit. So I'll take the under there. Let's go to our next one. Okay. I feel like I want to change this line on the fly. Dibes put in Saquon Barkley over under 1,999.5 rushing yards. I make a motion. We change that to 1,399.5 rushing yards.
Oh, wow. That's
okay. 1,499.5.
Okay. All right. That works.
Okay. So we're changing this one on the fly. Basically, will Saquon Barkley rush for 1,500 yards or more? Ryan, what do you say?
I think he does. Had you said, if you kept going a little bit, I might not have been there with you, but I think he can and will get the opportunity again. If I'm going with the, idea that they'll be up and running the ball and running the clock out.
All right. David, 1499.5. You taking the over?
Smashing the over. Yeah. Yeah. I have him at around 1,700 plus. Yeah. I think he knows all of the doubters that he can't duplicate what he did last season. And I think the only way he falls short is if he gets hurt.
We might have lost David.
Did I freeze?
Not good.
All right. We will see if he disappears / start unfreezes or whatever happens here.
And or reappears.
Yeah. Or reappears.
I'm just glad that wasn't me because.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. You love it. So, all right. I'm going to take the under I think it's really difficult to follow up 2,000 yards with 1,500 yards. At 1,500 yards would have been the highest mark of his career prior to last year. And so I just think there's probably a bit of regression baked in terms of his workload last year, potential injury things, teams probably trying to bottle him up more like the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. So I think he's going to have a good year, but I'm going to take the under on that one. So rolling along here, Eagles sack leader, Nolan Smith or somebody else?
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with Nolan Smith. I think, again, what he showed in the playoffs and towards the end of last year, I'm, hopeful that he can build upon that. And, again, with the presence of the interior guys, allow him to kind of do his thing there on the edge.
All right. David is back.
Hey.
David, welcome back to the show. Not sure what was going on there, but
I could hear y'all the whole time. I don't know what happened.
Oh, weird. You got really garbled on our end and then froze. So I don't know. What was going on there, but so you had the over. I took the under on Barkley. This next one is Nolan Smith versus the field for Eagles sack leader. Ryan takes Nolan Smith. I'm going to take Nolan Smith as well. 2% of Nolan Smith's pressures last year came in the final 3 games of the regular season and the playoffs. And so he really turned it on down the stretch. And I expect him to kind of have a breakout year this year. So, and given the fact that Jalen Carter is awesome, but he hasn't produced high sack totals yet. He's highly disruptive, but because of that, he's the focal point of opposing offensive lines. So I think he's the threat here, but I think that teams are going to make somebody else beat them, and Nolan Smith's going to be that guy. So I'll take Smith. What about you, David?
I'm going to take the field. I'm a little more concerned about the edge rushers in general. Nolan Smith did have a breakout party in the postseason, but he was also going against some of the weaker tackles when he was playing with Sweat on one side, BG on the field. So I'm a little curious to see how he holds up. I mean, he's one of my favorite players on the team. I hope that he does that, but I think he might face some tougher competition, and there might be some other opportunities for somebody else on the team to end up with a little bit more than he does.
The next one we have here is A.J. Brown over under 1,199.5 receiving yards. Give me the over. He was close to that last year, despite the Eagles being the most run-heavy team in the NFL and the fact he missed some games. I think the Eagles are going to throw a little more this year. Hopefully he stays healthy. I'll take him for 1,200. I'd take him for 12,000 yards.
I'd take him for that. Yeah, sure.
But I'd take him for 1,200 or more yards. David, what about you?
Yeah, I can't say that Hurts is going to throw 4,000 yards and A.J. Brown not get 1,200 plus. So, yeah, definitely the over.
All right. Ryan?
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous. But I would just like to say if A.J. Brown somehow had 12,000 receiving yards, I'm sure they would still say something bad about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Over under 12,000 for his career.
That's a good question.
I'm going over.
I'm going over.
How many
I
does
don't
he
even
have
know
now?
what he's at.
I'm going to look
I have
it
no
up.
idea. 6,000? I don't know.
Okay, in his 6-year career so far, he has 7,026. Oh, yeah, that's an easy over. He's averaged 1,300 yards per season, basically. So he would need, what?
4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, four healthy years, basically. So that'd be to his age 31 season. I'll take the over on that. Football is back, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PINPULL. That's code PINPULL to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly.
On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bet expires 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital game and commercial users excluded. Restrictions may apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Okay, this one is not on the sheet, but Yako asked it, so we'll answer it. Saquon had 33 receptions for 278 receiving yards last year. Will he have more in 2025? David?
No.
All right. Ryan?
I'd say he will. Again, I think it's going to be a conscious effort to up the passing game, and again, another year more comfortable within that passing game. I think Saquon will be able to spread his wings, so to speak, a little bit more.
All right. I think I'll probably take the under there. I think they're going to try to limit him a little bit more this year in terms of touches, and you can throw the ball to a lot of different guys, but he's the guy you want taking the handoff. So I could see that not being as high this year. So, okay, back to dive sheet. Jalen Hurts over under 31.5 touchdowns this season. Total touchdowns, passing and rushing. I'll take the over on that one. David, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know what he had last year. 40? Did he get 40? Yeah, it's an over.
He had 18 passing, 14 rushing, so
32?
32. So just barely over last season.
Yeah, I'm still going over.
Times doesn't do this by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to go over. I think we'll see a lot more passing touchdowns from him.
All right, Dallas Goedert over under 10.5 games played. Ryan,
I'm going to stay positive
about Dallas Goedert. Really?
I know. I have been very critical of him, especially when it comes to his health and availability. But I'm going to breathe positivity into the air, and I'm going to say he's going to hit that over.
All right. David, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well, and they better hope it's over because they don't have another tight end on the roster who can do what he does in the running game. So they're going to desperately need him for over 10.5 games.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well. He's been over that number every year of his career except for last year when he had 10. So he's barely been under it once. I know he gets nicked up and misses time every season, but he's generally not missing like 6, 7, 8 games. So
true.
Okay, Jahan Dotson over under 29.5 receptions. Ryan,
I think that's over. I think you give him another year in this offense, and I think Hurts will definitely be throwing it more, and you could see as the year went on, he got a little bit more comfortable with Dotson, so I expect him to hit that over.
All right, David?
I'll go with the under. The only way I see him exceeding that is if one of the 2 number 1 receivers gets hurt.
Yeah, I will also take the under. I'm not so sure that some of his snap counts don't get eaten into by Darius Cooper. So I think there's going to be a little more competition there for those snaps this season as well. So I'll take the under as well. The running back who gets the most snaps after Saquon, will it be Will Shipley or A.J. Dillon? I'll go first this time. It should absolutely be A.J. Dillon, and it will absolutely be Will Shipley. So give me Will Shipley. David, what about you?
I agree with what you said. It's Will Shipley by probably quite a bit.
All right, Ryan?
Well, I guess just to be different, I'll say A.J. Dillon.
And Nakobe Dean over under games played set at 4.5. David, what do you think?
Over. He'll come back sometime mid to late October and probably find himself 8 games down the stretch.
I should clarify. Is this any snaps in a game?
That's how I'm taking it.
Because if so, I mean, I think he's definitely going to come back and play special teams. I don't know that there's going to be a starting role for him on the defense, depending on how Jahad Campbell plays. But
right.
So yeah, I'll take the over on that one too. I mean, I expect him back, and as soon as he's back, I would think he's at least on special teams.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, I'll go over. I think either way, like you said, I think they'll blend him in and really kind of keep a rotation almost, if you will. Why not? You could keep people a lot more fresh. You have, the guys that can do it. So why not?
All right. Tanner McKee, over under 4.5 touchdown passes, David.
That's an interesting one. I'm going to say under.
All right. Under for David. Ryan, what say you?
Yeah, I'm definitely under.
All right. And that one's tough. He had 4 last year, and he basically played 1 game. And if you think the Eagles will clinch a playoff spot and maybe not play Jalen Hurts at the end of the year, do you think Hurts misses a game at some point? I've got a lot of confidence in McKee, but I feel like he's going to have to play 2 games to get there. And I'm not sure I'm willing to make the bet that Hurts will miss 2 games instead of 1. That one's tough. If it was 3.5, I'd take the over for sure. How many games has Hurts missed the last few years?
Probably 2 or 3 every year.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking, right? No, he played 17 games in 2023. He missed 2 games in 24, 2 games in 22. So he's either fully healthy or he misses 2 games. And when he misses 2 games, they make the Super Bowl. So I'll say he's going to miss 2 games. Tanner McKee's throwing 5 touchdowns, and the Eagles are repeating as Super Bowl champs. That logic doesn't track at all, but it's what we're going with.
Not at all.
So, all right, Eagles interception leader, is it Reed Blankenship or the field, Ryan?
I'm going to go the field. Yeah, Reed certainly has a knack, especially for those diving interceptions that he does. But I have to assume that Q or Coop are going to step up. And then you're also adding in the fact that Makuba, who was an absolute ball hawk, into this defense as well. So I think, I'll go field here easily.
Have we confirmed that Q can catch this season?
Well, we don't have Gardner Johnson knocking it out of his hand.
That's true.
So.
He doesn't have to hear footsteps from his safety. So, all right, Ryan's got the field. David, what about you?
Field.
The field for David. I'm going to go ahead and stick with Blankenship. He had 4 last year. Nobody except Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had more than 1. And Reed just kind of seems to come up with those clutch interceptions. It's also worth noting it's a little easier for safeties to come up with those interceptions in quarters, so I'll take Blankenship. Jalen Carter, over under 5.5 sacks, David.
I am going with the over. I think this is the year that he imposes his will and starts showing some of that Aaron Donald type dominance.
All right. I will also take the over. He had 4.5 last year. I don't think getting over 5.5. Actually, hold on, timeout. I'm going to change this to 5.25 because a half a sack's possible. So does that change? Well, that wouldn't change your answer, David. It moved it lower.
No.
It doesn't change mine either. I think another sack over 4.5 is something that he can definitely do. Ryan, what about you?
Oh, yeah, he's going over that.
Eagles over under kick/punt returns for a touchdown. Set it a half a touchdown. So will they have a kick or punt return for a touchdown, David?
I'm going yes. Britton Covey is going to return one on his welcome back tour as a Philadelphia Eagle.
When is the last time the Eagles had a punt or kick return touchdown?
1972. It's been a while.
That's not true.
No, it's obviously not true.
Because I know Jalen Reagor had one.
Ew, gross. How dare you speak that name?
Yeah, because then I got really mad. I was like, of course, it is worth mentioning he dropped the ball and then picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown.
Deshaun Jackson had a bunch, pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. According to ChatGPT, the most recent punt return touchdown was December of 2020. It was Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is the last person to return a kick or a punt for a touchdown.
Somebody needs to do something.
Yeah. Josh Huff in 2016 had a kick return for a touchdown.
That's right. I do remember that one.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the under on that one. It ain't happening.
Smart move.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Just screw it. I'm just channeling my positivity and just out into the Eagles world. I'm going to say, hell yeah, we're going to get one.
All right. Jahad Campbell, over under 3.5 sacks. I'll take the under on that one. I don't expect him to rush the passer a ton. 3.5 sacks is quite a bit for a guy that's an off-ball linebacker. And I think he's mostly going to be an off-ball linebacker. So I'll take the under. David, what about you?
I agree for every reason. I mean, he'll definitely be deployed to do it sometimes, but you'd have to be successful damn near all of it to get over 3.5 sacks.
All right. Ryan, what about you?
Go ahead, Mr. Positivity.
Oh, I'm going over.
You're going
Are you
over
kidding me?
13.5 sacks?
Wait, 13?
No, just kidding.
I was like, wait a minute, quit throwing numbers in there. No, I think he can, once he kind of gets comfortable, with everything, I could easily see him getting a few here.
All right. Let's go to Cooper DeJean. Over under 1.5 receptions. Give me the over. I think Cooper DeJean can get 2 interceptions this year. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, easily.
All right. David?
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
All right. Same question for Quinyon Mitchell, but it's at 2.5 interceptions. David, can Quinyon Mitchell get 2.5 or more 3 or more interceptions?
I'm going with yes. Yes, I think he can. He had the opportunity last season, and they literally went through his hands. So I think he solves that problem this year.
All right. Ryan, you're pumping your fist. I'm assuming that
Hell-
means you're
hell
also
yeah.
taking the over.
Hell yeah.
All right.
If you would have said 5, I probably would have said over.
All right. I am taking the under on that one. Quinyon Mitchell only gets interceptions when I make him my player of the game prediction in the playoffs to get a 2-minute drill game-sealing interception against the Packers. So worked out. And that one time, I'm never predicting it again. I'm going to go out undefeated on that one. But I'll take the under. I don't think he's going to get targeted a ton. And I think he struggles to haul those interceptions in a little bit at times too. So I'll take the under. Saquon Barkley, over under total receptions, set at 34.5. I actually didn't see this one on the list, and we talked about it briefly. I think David and I had the under on that one, and Ryan had the over. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Saquon Barkley, over under 6.5 runs of 40-plus yards. David, what do you think?
5, is that what you said?
Yeah. So will he
40?
have 7 runs of 40 or more yards?
I'm going to say yes.
All right. David takes the over. By the way, 7 is what he had last season. So
Yeah.
he had 7 of them last season. Will he do it again, Ryan?
Yeah, I think he will. He's just a big game hitter.
All right. I will take the under on that. I think that was such an unbelievable season. I just don't see that happening again. In terms
How many
of
did he have in the playoffs? He had 3 or 4 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Exactly.
I know he had
2
the
against the
one
Rams.
against the Rams.
He had at least 3
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
can remember being present for.
He had 2 against the Rams.
Yeah, 2 against
Right,
the
2
Rams.
against the
and he had
Rams, 1 against the Commanders to lead
Commanders.
off the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Before I even knew what the heck was going on, we're celebrating.
Yeah. All right. And then final over under. Eagles regular season win total over under 12.5, which is a great line.
It's such a good line.
I am going to take the under because I had them at 12 wins, but it's really close. So give me the under.
Yeah, I think when I first did the game by game predictions, I had them at 12. So I'll stick with that. I'll say they have 12, so I'll go under.
All right, David.
I had him at 12-5 also. It's one of the reasons I thought Hurts would probably have to throw a lot more because I do think they're the Super Bowl champions. They're getting everybody's best effort week in and week out. So I do think it'll be a little tougher road this year.
All right. Wild that both of you took the under on a win total. I can't believe it.
I don't think David or I have predicted an Eagles loss in 3 years.
Yeah, because you're going to pick them to win on all 17 preview shows we do.
Pretty much. I know I am.
Definitely not.
Johnny and I had BLG on today to do our season prediction show. And at the end, we do a bold prediction. My bold prediction was that the Eagles will win week 1 and then lose 3 of their next 4 games. And everybody's going to panic. And then they'll win the next 9 in a row to get to 10-3, which you look at their schedule. It is brutal. It's like, that 4-game stretch it has at Chiefs is week 2. Yep. I think week 3 is the Rams.
Yep.
It is.
The Broncos are week 5. Who's week 4? I can't remember now, but
Tampa, right?
Tampa. Yeah. I hate, man. That's a loss.
I know. We just can't. We just suck against Tampa.
I would rather go on the road to Lambeau Field in the playoffs than host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, just keep Todd Bowles away from Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. I'm telling you, man. I want nothing to do with him. But anyways, that's going to about do it for this episode of Birds of the Roundtable. We'll be with you guys each and every Tuesday night throughout the season at 8 o'clock Eastern or shortly thereafter. We like to, talk about things that would probably be good on the podcast. We just never hit record early enough. But we'll be going live a little after 8 o'clock every Tuesday night. We will have a fourth person on with us from time to time, bring on some different guests to do some different things. But really looking forward to hanging out with you guys this season. Thanks to those of you that were in the chat tonight. Football season is back, folks. We made it. We finally made it. Before we get out of here, let's throw it around the horn for plugs. David, you are up first. Tell the people where they can find you, what you've got going on.
You can find everything I do at PHL Eagle News. I posted an offensive preview, a defensive preview of the team for Philly Sports Network. You can find that there too. And before we start the new season on Thursday, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the NFL Network is America's Game. They're going to show one more time the Super Bowl with all of the mic'd up clips and everything else. It should be worth your time. So definitely look out for that. And then we move on and officially bury 2024 and begin 2025.
All right. Ryan, what about you, man? What do you got going on?
Nothing. Just prepping for Thursday. I'll be down there nice and early. We just got an email actually saying that they were going to be opening some of the lots a little bit earlier than normal due to the all the SEPTA BS. If you're going down, go down early. Otherwise, expect delays. And if anybody's around, hit me up. You can always follow me right here on X. Shoot me a message, grab a beer, and let's go Birds.
All right. Be sure you are following these guys. David's at PHL Eagle News. Ryan is at Philly Sports PSA. A couple of plugs for me. You can check out my Patreon with Johnny and Eric at patreon.com/ontheshane page. Eric dropped a fantastic written preview of the Dallas game. I think he said it was like 3,000 words long, and that is available to free members. And so if you're on the fence about subscribing, go join as a free member. We're going to drop basically a good sampling of our normal paid content for free for week one, just so people can see it. So come hang out. You'll get my all-22 pass game review of the week one game early next week, assuming the Eagles even need to throw a pass to beat the Cowboys, which maybe not. Johnny's going to do a preview episode on there that'll be live later this week. And so you can check those things out. We think you'll want to join us and stick around. But if not, no pressure. You can see the things we drop for free from time to time. We also have a sponsorship from DraftKings now. So if you're considering doing some sports betting this year, if you'll use the code PINPOLL when you sign up with DraftKings, you'll get a whole bunch of bonus bets. Obviously, please gamble responsibly. Don't do anything dumb. Don't spend your rent money. But if you're going to do it anyways already, sign up with our code. That'll help us out a little bit as well. So that is going to do it for this episode. David is at PHL Eagle News. Ryan is at Philly Sports PSA. I am at Shane Half NFL. And we will catch you guys next Tuesday night for a victory episode of Birds of the Roundtable. You guys take care, and we'll see you then.